Michigan looks like they might actually be the best team in the Big Ten.
I'm not willing to say that yet. I'm not. And that's not the Michigan hater in me. I have two nephews who went to Michigan. So I'm actually got a soft spot in my heart for Michigan. I think they're really good. I just think, listen, their biggest wins so far are still at Maryland and Northwestern at home. Let's wait. Let's just kind of chill for a minute on Michigan, and I want to see what they do. Now they're at home this week against Minnesota. Should win that game, right? But Minnesota will be the most talented team they have played to date. I just want to see how they handle the Gophers. If they win that one, I feel a little bit better. I moved them up. I think they're 14 in my top 25. Again, they're really good. They're really good. I don't dispute that. I just feel like I want to see them play a legitimate lock NCAA tournament team. And I'm not ready to call Northwestern a lock NCAA tournament team. Are you?
No, I think that you can make the argument that Michigan has played the 4 worst teams in the Big Ten, depending on what you think of Michigan State, which is a very weird sentence to say. This is the way that I kind of feel about them. And I get the sense that you probably agree, so tell me if you don't. I think that there is a real chance that Michigan is the best team in the Big Ten, but based off of the teams that they've played and the performances that they've had against them, we cannot say that they definitively are the best team in the Big Ten at this point. I'm not going to be surprised if, like, come late February, they're competing for the Big Ten title. In fact, I would probably feel pretty confident in saying that they are going to be in the mix through the whole season near the top of the conference, just because, like, they're already 4-0, right? Yeah. And they get Penn State again. Their next 4 games are Minnesota, Penn State, Wisconsin, Minnesota. So, they could be 6-2 at that point, and then they get Maryland again. So there's a lot of wins that they can get on their schedule before they start playing some of the really, really tough games in the Big Ten. So the one thing I will say is this: I was worried about this matchup with Northwestern because of the ability of Pete Nance to play out on the perimeter and pull Hunter Dickinson away from the basket. And like early on, those concerns appeared to be like somewhat legitimate, and then Franz Wagner goes nuts and. Michigan makes a whole bunch of threes, and then
Hunter's such a stud, man. Hunter Dickinson is so good. I said it last night. Like, I think it's like Jalen Suggs, Kate Cunningham, and to me, and I had Farnham getting on me because he said Cam Thomas over Hunter Dickinson. I'll take Hunter over Cam any day of the week. Cam's a walking bucket, but Hunter just does everything. Like he fills such a void for Michigan and fits every. Like, he plays hard, he runs the court well, he blocks shots, he rebounds, he can score in the post, he can step out. Like, there's not much he can't do as a big.
My question is, are you saying that when you say it's Jalen Suggs, Cade Cunningham, Hunter Dickinson, are you saying like best freshman, or are you saying like where you would draft them?
No, nothing to do with draft. Okay. I'm not drafting Hunter Dickinson ahead of there's Zaire Williams.
Well, but the way you phrased it kind of sounded like that's what you were saying.
No.
Goodman, pump the brakes, buddy. Pump the brakes.
No, I'm taking Hunter Dickinson as a college basketball player. He's been the 3rd best freshman in the country to me.
The only thing that I'll say is this: the Big Ten is loaded with really good bigs, and Michigan has played Northwestern, Maryland, Nebraska, and Penn State, and there's no good bigs on any of those rosters. I don't know.
I'm not worried. I've seen Hunter Dickinson play enough. I'm not. He'll have his ups and downs, but he's not going to all of a sudden be exposed by too many people in the Big Ten. Yeah, I mean, listen, Garza and even Kofi. Well, I think Kofi's going to have more trouble with Hunter Dickinson than Hunter's going to have with Kofi.
We'll see. The big thing is, like, Kofi's thing is always ball screen defense. And, when you don't have to put him in ball screens, he's awesome like he did against Purdue. When you do have to put him in ball screens, then Illinois loses to Missouri. So that's kind of by the way, there are no secrets with Kofi Cockburn at this point.
If you don't talk about Drake before we get to today's games, you're an absolute hater.
Well, here's the thing. But there's a Drake segue available because the next game that Hunter Dickinson plays is against Liam Robbins and Minnesota. Yep. And we don't have to spend too long on Minnesota, but I do just want to say that I thought it was incredibly impressive that the Gophers went up against a team like Chris Holtmann threw everything that he could at Marcus Carr to try to shut him down. And like he was 3 for 12. He didn't take a shot for like the first 16 minutes of the game. It was the only thing that Andy Katz was on the broadcast. And Minnesota still won. Liam Robbins, 27. It was 27 points, 15 boards, 5 blocks, 4 assists, 2 steals, which is not a bad day at the office, Goodman. Gabe Kalsher made shots. Both Gotch made shots, and Jamal Mashburn Jr. made shots. And,
you call
if Minnesota is a team,
Booth Gotch. What did you call him?
I said Booth Gotch.
All right, I'm just making sure. Just making sure you get it right.
Like phone booth and gotcha. That's the way that I think about it. Phone booth and gotcha. Yeah, when those guys are making shots and Liam Robbins is playing the way that he played last night.
Where's Henkel? Where's Henkel Fieldhouse?
That is in Ames, Iowa. It's where the Suns play. It's where Fred Hoiberg made magic.
Henkel.
It's the house that George Niang built.
No, that's Hilton. That's Hilton. Henkel is his butler in Indianapolis.
Can we talk about Minnesota? Can we talk about Minnesota?
Yes.
I mean, you've been on them. Tell me about them. What do you think? How impressed were you?
Yeah, listen, I like the job that Holtmann did. He was trapping. He was doing whatever he could to get the ball out of Marcus Carr's hands. But the one thing Holtmann didn't have an answer for is Liam Robbins. Why? Because Holtmann's got a bunch of like 6'7" undersized bigs. And Liam Robbins is what? He's long. He's athletic. I think it's more, honestly, watching last night, I think it was more an indication of Ohio State and how limited they are and what a great job Chris Holtmann does, because they need a big, long, athletic big, number one, and they need a guy who can do something off the bounce, namely a DJ Carton type of player. They don't have either. So if Chris Holtmann can get this team, which he will, because he's an incredible coach, if he can get him to the NCAA tournament.
There it is. We went 12 minutes in the stream without the Goodman note.